So we're sending out a message of scarcity to the universe and beyond,
Yes.
that we are not really open. We don't have space to receive more. We don't even believe that it's possible for us to receive more.
Exactly. And by putting into storage, you're trying to create more space, but immediately filling it up.
So you never really create space. Today, I interview Anjie Cho, who is a Feng Shui expert and Dharma arts educator. Anjie is co-founder of the Mindful Design Feng Shui School, co-host of the Holistic Spaces podcast, and owner of Anjie Cho Architect PLLC. She's the author of Holistic Spaces, Mindful Homes, and co-author of Mindful Living. I am so excited to have her here today. We chat about this year of the fire horse, what things you can do for more luck, prosperity, and love in your life. Anjie also helps me dive into what is happening energetically when my storage unit recently got flooded, what it means when things are flooded, how to clean your closet, and how to create more space in your life for more of what you want. I hope you enjoy this episode as much as we enjoyed recording it. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to Legendary with LexyRose. Wherever you are, I invite you to take a really deep breath in and call back all of your energy from everyone and everything, and exhale out. Just let everything and anything in the way of your peace and your clarity and your ease go. And with your next breath in, maybe drop into the center of your heart and set an intention for yourself today. Is there something that you want to learn? Is there something you want to invite in? Is there something you want to remember? And here we are. I am very excited to be here today with Feng Shui expert Anjie Cho. Anjie has been on the podcast before. She has an incredible book that we're going to leave links to in the show notes, alongside a certification, which I plan on taking next year. I realize that I've missed the cutoff. But if you have listened to, my most recent episodes, something really interesting happened that brought up a lot of questions for me. And I knew that Anjie is the person to bring in regards to this. So for those of you who do not know, I'm a former celebrity fashion stylist. I've had collections of clothing and vintage garments and fashion books and resources that I've collected probably since high school. And I got an email on February 14th. No, actually it was on the 17th. This was the day of the Lunar New Year, saying that we need you to come to the storage unit. Your 2 units filled with all of your favorite things may be flooded. So I get in the storage unit and the whole place is literally flooding, like water everywhere. I see people throwing out like all of their memories. I had a friend that was there. She was crying because all of her kids' stuff totally got completely flooded. So I go into one of the units. I see that a lot of my books were just drenched, right? A lot of my things were drenched, about 40% of my collection of my art books. I did not have a meltdown because I did have this underlying awareness that maybe it is actually time for this space to be made, And then I go upstairs and I look at my clothes, and thankfully my clothes were in good condition. But I also did have my intuition was literally saying to me like, okay, Lexi, maybe it's time for also the clothes to go too. So Anjie, I have a few questions about storage units. I have questions about floods, and also about clothing and what they represent, and also what books may represent in Feng Shui, or how to work alongside all of this.
Okay, I'd be happy to. And I'm so sorry to hear about that, but it sounds like it was an event that a lot of us are resonating with, because I'm hearing a lot of people talk about considering letting go of things. And it sounds like the universe kind of expedited that decision for you, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I hope was there any, was it insured at least?
Well, they ended up, the insurance situation with them is a little bit complicated. They ended up telling me that I can have the units for free, one of them for a year. I mean, but I'm at the point now where I'm like, honestly, I don't know. You're right. That's a good point. That's something that I'm probably going to check back in with later. But I'm honestly at this place though, where I do feel like a sense of liberation from it. But I'd love to hear like a little bit more of like what you see, what you think about storage units. I've read a lot about that, also about clothes, about floods, and yeah, all of it.
Yeah. So I'm curious what you looked up too, because there's so much information on the internet and there's definitely different opinions. So there has a lot to do. I think the symbolism has a lot to do with your own personal connection to the things. And then there's also different schools of thought on what things symbolize. So let's first talk about clothes. So clothes can represent, I think for you, probably, it represents something, it represents your past. It represents how you showed up in the world.
Yes.
And it represented actually a lot of beauty in your skillfulness, right? Because that was, if you were a celebrity stylist, this is how you showed your art, how you showed your skillfulness, your expertise, and your talents to the world, right?
Yeah.
So it had a lot, but it was your former, kind of your former profession. So something that doesn't resonate with you so much anymore. So it's kind of for you, it's like a past life in a sense.
Yes.
But for the average person, this can also be relevant because for the average person, like the average listener would probably connect this with, oh, there's those jeans that I might fit into again one day. Or that
I had a little of that.
yeah.
I had a little of that.
Yeah, or my wedding dress, or a family heirloom, or something that I spent a lot of money on that I really liked that I am still holding on to. So there's still a sense of like when we talk about clothes and storage, it often has to do with something that we're still hanging on to, but we don't, that doesn't reflect our how we show ourselves off in the world. Because the clothing is less about, it's not about clothing ourselves, rather it's how we show our personalities to the outside world, right?
Yeah.
Just like if you've ever had to like wear someone else's clothes, like say you were at a friend's house or something and you ran out of clothes and you put someone else's clothes on and you're like, no, this is so not me, right?
Yeah.
So it has so much to do with our identity and what we show the world.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So it's a little bit in a way like a mask.
Totally.
So for you and for most people, you've taken off this mask, you put it away because you're not sure exactly what you want to do with it.
Right.
And the clothes were okay, right?
Yeah, the clothes were okay.
Okay, but you told me separately that you're deciding to maybe sell.
But I did sell it. Like it just happened to be this serendipitous thing where I was like, you know what? I want to sell these clothes. I reach out to the vintage girl and she lives in LA. She happened to be here on that day. So I was like, okay, I'm getting chills as I'm sharing. And you know what's really interesting, Angie, is that like maybe 2 weeks before or a week before, I was having this awareness of like my ego, like not my ego death, a death of my old self. And I literally have an Instagram post which was all around the death of my old self. And I feel that many of us collectively are experiencing a death of our old self, a death of what we used to allow, a death of what we thought we wanted, a death of who we thought we were.
And not that those things were bad. That really was healthy and healing and supportive.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But it's not relevant anymore because you don't need it. That's why it goes into storage.
So what happens energetically when things are in storage? Does that interfere with our ability to receive? Does that interfere with the flow of energy in our life?
It can. So sometimes I look at it as, when we take some things out of our closet and you put it into storage and then magically the closet's full again because you already like have new things to fill it up with. So when you have a full closet or you're putting things in storage, it's almost like you're sending this message to the universe that I'm full. I have enough. I'm good. I don't need to invite anything more in. So, because as soon as you make that space, doesn't it get filled up immediately with something else?
Yeah, yeah.
So by taking things out and putting it in storage, you were creating a little bit of space, but then you're backing yourself up. So there's a lot about this, almost like that FOMO that we have, or the fear of you're worried that you might need it one day, and so you put it away, right?
Right.
And so you're creating this cluttered sense of self in terms of like you're keeping that backup plan. It's like you don't trust in your new career.
It's coming from maybe even scarcity, right?
Yes,
like holding
scarcity.
on to that is, in my mind, it's like, oh, well, I'm never going to get this stuff again, so I have to keep it.
Yeah, and I will say, like, having worked with many different types of people, I would say that some of the more wealthier clients I have, they don't have any clutter because they actually don't. They can let go of things very quickly because they don't really worry about like, I might need that one day. If they need it one day, they get it again.
So we're sending out a message of scarcity to the universe and beyond, that we are not really open. We don't have space to receive more. We don't even believe that it's possible for us to receive more.
Exactly. And by putting into storage, you're trying to create more space, but immediately filling it up.
So you never really create space.
So you're not really you're creating like a debt in a sense.
And what is like in Feng Shui, do you believe in having storage? I know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to think about the intention of it. Is the storage something that are you storing it away because you might need it one day? Or are you storing it away out of fear? Or are you storing it away because you love the thing?
Yeah.
There's the energy and the intention around it is different. So if you love it, you're saving it because you are going to go back to it. Like putting away your favorite, I don't know, like scarf. You put it away, you store it, but you take it out because you love it.
I did love this stuff, but I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Like I had the awareness for me personally, right? That it was actually creating more, it was more for me to hold, right? Because even though we have this stuff, even if this stuff is not here, we are still holding it in our field, right?
Yes, absolutely. Because you know that your non-conscious mind knows that it's still there. Again, it's like simple, like physics almost. We know like as soon as we empty a cup, it gets filled up again. As soon as we wipe off the dust on the furniture, it accumulates again. As soon as we make a little bit of room in our closets, we buy something new to fill it up again. And so when we have no space, we just send the message that we don't need anything. We're full. We don't create an opportunity for the universe to fill up that space with something new, with something that can be possibly amazing. It could be not great, but you have the choice. And so we do this even with our schedules. It doesn't have to be with physical objects, right? We fill up our schedule. We don't allow time to get bored. We don't allow time to we just continually entertain ourselves. But so much creativity and innovation comes from boredom and curiosity.
And space. We have to have the space. Mm-hmm. So what do you suggest for people that like feel that, you know, if they have a lot of stuff and they have difficulty getting rid of it or letting go, like, do you have any practices for them or inspiration for them or tools or?
Yeah, well, in a practical sense, there's definitely people like professional organizers that are experts at it. But that's not what I'm an expert at. But I think energetically, there's actually a Buddhist practice about letting go, which I think is super helpful. Ooh. It's even just taking an object.
Yeah.
And seeing how it feels to move an object from one hand to the other hand. And notice how it feels to receive and to let go. And then
liberating for me right now to let go. It's like I want to just keep letting go and letting go. Yeah. I never had this feeling, by the way. You know, I was always, my mom used to call me a hoarder. Like I like to hold on to a lot. But now it's like this sense of levity that I feel with like, you know.
Well, it is light. Like I just saw a friend or someone I know, she decided to become a monk actually, or nun. Wow. So she cut all her hair. Uh-huh. And how light that can feel because, you know, hair is so heavy. And same with our belongings. And I think that for you, maybe the universe expedited your attention and pointed your attention towards, you know, these are things that like you don't need anymore. Like how long have they been in storage?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's more like how long have I had them? I've had them so long.
Yeah.
So long. Some things from high school, you know, and the books. But I feel like you were touching on a good point in regards to this. Like there was something around the identity and who I am now versus who I was and being okay with, you know what, you also said something else. Like I did go into that unit and it was like opening these boxes because I had to, because they were all whatever. I like got to see like all the stationery and like, yeah, I had problems and I had issues and I can sit here and judge myself for what I was, but I was actually doing the best I could. And I was able to make peace with my past going through all the stuff. Yeah. And there's something very cathartic about like sitting and opening things up and looking at them and going through and releasing them. Right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And also like so you had a lot of books that were damaged, right?
Yeah, what does that represent?
So books, I feel like books can represent knowledge, but not necessarily wisdom.
Okay.
And because we're in this modern age where there's fast fashion, there's so many different knowledge
Driven
ways.
information.
Yeah,
Agent. Yeah.
so much information, but we are addicted to information now. We have an information addiction. So it's easy to accumulate books and then never look at them again. And they may also hold a lot of knowledge that we've already integrated that into our life. We don't necessarily need that physical artifact to give us the authority to have that wisdom that because we've digested it and it's become part of us, and it's wisdom. If you've read the book, right? So if you've read the books or the words or if you've integrated the information from the book, and you've decided to put it away, then there could be a sense that you've already digested it. So why do you still need that to prove anything? There's also, books that we keep because they're nostalgic or that they're beautiful or we love them, or maybe they're of value. So it depends on what the use is. But oftentimes a lot of people say, can I is there a book I could read? So typically books are a way to convey or to pass along knowledge, but not wisdom, right? Because you have to read the book, you have to digest the information, and then you have to make it your own. So a lot of people confuse like a book for wisdom.
So what would you say about the books being like,
well, are they
mainly art books?
That's
art
what it sounded like.
Fashion magazines, fashion books.
Yeah, they're gone. So I think that for you, it could also tie into your past, right? So that you've already digested all the knowledge that those books had to impart. So the universe took them away from you. You don't need them. You don't need to rely on that anymore because you've transmuted that knowledge into wisdom, and it's a part of you, and you've let go of what wasn't helpful and integrated what was helpful.
Cool. So it's almost a sign of completion in a way when these things.
Yeah.
And how about the water? Like the water, what is that representing in floods? If people have floods, what is that?
So there's a few different things. So flooding can typically mean that sometimes it means that there's nature spirits that are really unhappy with what's happening. So there could have been, and that's probably not due to you because you weren't the only one affected by this, right?
No, the whole building, like the whole company even,
Yeah. So I was actually just talking to my business partner about this, and she was saying she had done a consultation where there was a lot of ongoing water issues, and it was because like they had recently cut a lot of trees from the property, and so the nature spirits were really unhappy and kind of angry. So that's a way that they kind of lash back at humans by creating havoc. Like I also had a client recently tell me that she was trying to move her hydrangea bush to another place that it would get more light, and then it actually poked her in the eye, and she has this like eye issue that is not going away.
Oh no.
And so on one level, maybe there's something going on with the land that you're not aware of, and it's a greater issue that has to do with the building or the property owners.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because it's not just you, but so water also has the ability to move energy. So we often liken like chi or life force energy to water. So it moves, it flows, it can flow like water, and we want it to flow like water instead of being stagnant. So if you had, like, you would never want to drink a glass of water that's been sitting out for days, right? And not moving.
Right.
Like, so we want water to flow. It makes it fresh. And water is like something that we need to thrive as humans, or all living things need fresh, clean water to thrive. So it could also be looked at similarly as like maybe there's a flow for you personally. Maybe there was something that stopped flowing, and that energy that stopped flowing was accumulating enough that like the water came in to just clear it all out.
You know what else was so interesting is that there was above in my book unit, there was a ceiling. I was the only one that had a tarp. So there was this huge thing of water protected by the tarp.
Ah.
And also the flooding had come in through the door underneath where mine was like, and the clothing one, like nothing happened, which I think, like really not, maybe if, no, like really nothing had happened to it. I just decided that it's time. Like I felt that that was a signal for me, and I don't base my life around signs. I like to really be a little bit more, get answers really from what I feel. But yeah, for me, that just all, it was like a series of things. I was like, it's time for space.
Yeah, well, the universe set things up for you because you had the synchronicity of the person who could sell the vintage clothing.
Yep.
And also you could not ignore this. You had to
Go in. Yeah.
go in and you had to address the issue. You had to make a physical shift in your environment to accommodate this. It could not be ignored. Because also all those things in there in a way were being ignored.
Yeah.
So like closets or storage areas can also represent things that are not, well, in one level it could be things that you're hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they say we've been, someone's been in the closet their whole life.
Right. I was, yeah, for sure.
So it could be, oh yeah, with your abilities, right?
Yeah.
You were in
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
So it could be like, that's
But all that stuff was like, I was hiding behind all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like it was my identity, but it was like,
it was a
clutter to kind of fog the way. You know what I mean? Distraction.
Yeah. So a closet can be used for, so there's yin and yang, right? There's both two sides. There's two sides to every mountain, right? There's never just a shady side. There's a shady side and a sunny side. So you would like on one hand, a storage area or a closet could represent a place that you conceal, that you hide. Or it could be that there is something concealed or hidden from you.
Oh.
In that closet. So I think for you, it's more that I don't know, there's something that those items were charged with this idea of like, they were what you used to, maybe you said, fog up and conceal right parts of you.
Yes.
And so then so then also you held on to them and then concealed those things. So there was multiple layers of concealing. So also sometimes when I look at someone's home, I might see like a closet in maybe the relationship area. So maybe that would tell, especially if they're looking for a partner, maybe that would say, well, you have the opportunities and the energy to find a partner. They're just not readily available to you. So you have to open that door and look through what isn't so obvious, or maybe like career opportunities. A lot of people like have their front door, there's a closet right by their front door. And if it ends up in that area, like the career area, it might mean like, hey, you have these business opportunities and they're not readily available because they're closed.
So what do we do?
Well, so you could keep the area tidy. You can open the door, use that area more. So when you bring your attention to that area and you notice by either cleaning that area, tidying that area, simply opening the door to that area more often, you're bringing your energy, your chi to it, and you're activating it. So you're allowing yourself to be more available to seeing what's there. And sometimes like maybe someone has like a whole closet or a room in their home that they just ignore, that they just put a bunch of stuff in. And you can notice like what's in there. Like for instance, I had a client once that had like a whole garage area that had bars on the window and they couldn't get in. It was like a rental situation. So the owner of the landlord had all their things in this garage.
Wow.
And the windows were barred. And she couldn't get inside. So it also related to the male area of her home and the father area of her home. So it was just on the mandala of the home, it was one sector of the home.
Okay.
And so I said, because there was bars on the window and she couldn't get in, I'm like, what's going on there? And she's like, I don't know. So in any case, she told me like months later that basically she asked her landlord for access, right? So he said, okay, sure. He's like, the key is actually in the outlet the key was like concealed in an outlet in the space. So she had access to it the whole time. So she went in and crazy enough, there was a memorial to the landlord's father in there.
In the
Yeah.
base, in the garage,
Yeah, in the garage. And then
represented the male.
yes, and also she was working through her relationship with her husband, who she was separated with, and her father, who I think there was a lot of abuse in the family.
Goodness.
So anyway, she just had this whole learning moment where she realized she had access to that knowledge and working through that access to that area of her life that was concealed for many years, like that she had access to it at all times, and that she could start to heal it. And we did other things because the windows were barred, so the windows represent the mouth of the children. So I told her, like, there's something about children, like the voice of children not being heard or closed off or barred off. So anyway, it's like there's a lot to be said about like areas where there's storage that you don't have access to, or that you are stuffing with things that you don't want to deal with anymore.
So you suggest for people to go into their closets, and start looking at things and what?
Well, if it depends, because we can also trust that our intuition and our hearts will guide us to when is the right moment, because oftentimes we do put these things away because that's the best we can do at that time. So definitely honor that. But I think for you, the universe was saying, like, LexyRose, you're ready to deal with this, and you're gonna deal with this. So if there is an area, like for a listener of their home, that they immediately think, oh, I've been ignoring this drawer or this area of my home, maybe that is an invitation. If they're listening to this right now, that's an invitation to look. Maybe you can look up where that area is from a Feng Shui perspective, and then see what insight you can glean from that, and if that has some meaning for you to begin to expand.
How can we, I don't know why, now this is coming up, right? Well, we talked a little bit about love. So for people who want to really work on their love relationships in their home or with their partners, or inviting love in, is there any specific places in the home that they can amplify or add anything to create more movement or more space for that?
Yeah, definitely. It's a bedroom. So
Always.
the bedroom, yeah. Well, the bedroom is really great to work on you in general, because it's a space that is closest to you, right? It's the most private space, but also and it definitely usually represents you and your partner or your future partner.
Okay.
So if you stand in the doorway of your bedroom looking in, the far right corner is going to be the relationship area. And so everyone could just kind of think of, like, what's in that area of my bedroom? And just notice, like, sometimes someone says, oh, my hamper is over there. Or some people say, oh, there's a dying plant over there. Or there's a cactus over there, a very spiky cactus.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's nothing there.
There's books.
Well, your relationship's okay, right?
Yeah, it's okay. It's good.
Yeah. So books, okay. What kind of books? Just like
Actually,
novels?
journals. Like I have a journal, and I actually have one of my kids' baby books on my table that I just haven't put away yet, that it's like out, and like a journal. I always do journaling at night.
Well, that area also represents your relationship with yourself as well, because we're both married, so we know that, like, a lot of a relationship, like a successful relationship, has to do with compromise and your own self-work, right? So
Yeah.
so I think that just shows that you take care of yourself in order to take care of your relationship, and that your son, you said your son?
It's my daughter's, but I think I just shoved some of his stuff in there. He doesn't have his own book yet.
Well, that like your children really bring your relationship together as well,
Yeah,
and bring
they
a
do.
lot of understanding in that. So yeah, and some people have nothing much to note, some people have a lot to note. So one way is to look at, like, what's happening in that area, and then also you can place something there with intention that will intentionally cultivate inviting a relationship. So if someone is looking for a partner, like a long-term partnership, for instance, it could be as simple as like setting up a little ritual to light a candle there, maybe every evening with just an intention of like why you want a relationship and what kind of partnership you want in your life. Or it could be as simple as like maybe a pair of rose quartz hearts in that area.
I keep seeing that. That's what I like. Rose quartz, right? Rose quartz heart.
Yeah, that's my go-to. So like rose
I'm
quartz heart.
sensing it. I'm picking up on it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then also like in regards to career, I love talking prosperity, money, business. I love all that. We chatted about this on our last episode. I should probably drop that in the show notes too, because that'll be fun. How can we enhance prosperity? I know a lot of people that I work with, they are like, okay, how can I make more money? How can I bring in more abundance? Right? We talked about some of the things about going through your closets and creating space by the door, right? What else can we do?
Yeah. So if you still work on your bedroom, so you stand in the doorway of your bedroom looking in, and the far left corner is the abundance area. And that's like the wealth area. So what's happening there for you?
Oh no. I have an old end table from my old apartment, and it has like it's from this beautiful antique store, this amazing antique store. You have to get glass specifically cut because it's like a very unique shape. And the glass, I know this is not good for Feng Shui. It has a little crack in it. And that's there. And it's with my children's books. I have my children's books on the left side because we do story time at night.
Okay. So you really love this table.
Yeah.
Okay. And
should I move it on my love side?
That's okay. Where'd the chip come from?
I think from moving, when we moved from my old apartment.
Okay. And it sounds like you're going to plan to repair it.
I don't, yeah, not any, it's not on the top of my list. I'll tell you that.
But maybe now it is.
Oh, Angie, I don't want to deal with that. That's one thing I don't want to deal with. Okay,
so then we can take your words and see how that can apply to your wealth and abundance and feeling abundance.
I feel abundant, and I'm really should I get rid of that table?
Well, yeah, yes, but you like the table.
Yeah, but I don't know who can do this custom glass around here.
I know someone who could do it, probably. How custom is it?
Send them to me. It's like this squiggly kind of round Frenchy kind of.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could just call a glass person, they'll template it. It's not hard.
All right.
But it's not cheap.
Send me details later.
Well,
you think I should move it? I'm not kidding. Do you think I should move that to my...
Well, okay, wait. Before you do anything, just listen. Yeah. Okay. So it's something that came from maybe your previous life, and it got damaged by someone else, and you're not that attached to it, right?
No.
So maybe it does fall into the category that you suggested about, like similar to your clothing and your storage unit. And also, is there something with you financially or with how you feel abundant that, you realize, actually, this is not, it would serve me better to let go of it than to spend all the time in trying to make it look like how it was, right? To restore it to what it was.
Yeah, there's two of them. One is on the right side and one is on the left side of the bed.
Oh, they're your nightstands?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they were part of a table and then they turned into nightstands.
Okay. Well, also the glass represents things are fragile and that things can fall through. So it's not as stable for your wealth.
For business.
Yeah.
So just replace it today. Just gotta
I would maybe replace it, and maybe you could donate some to somewhere else.
All right.
Someone can use it.
Okay. So what about the kids' books that are there?
I think that's okay. They help you feel abundant.
Yeah, I think that's fun. How about the left corner where like the window is? Does that count? Far left?
Yeah. And what that can mean is that, like, what is that window facing?
It's facing a playground.
Okay.
I don't know what's up with the kids on the left side.
Well, I mean, kids teach you that you can create something from nothing.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. So you can create a lot of wealth, richness, life from nothing. And that life is created, and it's the ultimate form of creativity is to create a new life, right? To create new life. So that part of your gift is to create new life for people or to create new opportunities, something from nothing. And that's where you and how you feel abundant is when you can help people do that.
Yeah, I do. And I love that. Thank you. That's really, I think that's one of my big gifts there. How about fertility? Oh, wait, no. So what do we do? What do I do? What do I put in the left side? Tell me.
Oh, you could also put something there that represents
piggy
abundance to
bank?
you.
Okay. Piggy banks?
Yeah, you could actually you could put a piggy bank. Yeah. Do you have piggy banks?
Yeah, I do. I have really big, cool, I got them from, I don't know, some art store, but like they actually look like pigs.
Uh-huh.
Two pink ones. They also used to come in gold. I don't know. It's some like, I don't know the designer. I got it at the Momo store a long time ago. So you could, what else though? Like what? I
Oh,
think
that's so funny because there's actually like a really specific feng shui adjustment where you do use a piggy bank in that area. Yeah, but just in general, like you could actually, yeah, put money in the piggy bank.
I have it. It's
Yeah.
already in there. So put the big piggy bank. Can I put it on the broken table? Does that cancel it out?
No.
Can I believe that it does and it does?
You can do whatever you want, but
I
I think
know.
that I think you also know there's an issue, else you wouldn't have asked me about it. Oh,
I
actually, I
know.
did. I asked you about it. You were like, "Oh shit!" I was hoping she wasn't going to ask about the
Yeah,
left
I
side.
know because I always look at it and I'm like, I don't think that's good for feng shui at all.
So you know.
And also, my son was at one point picking up the glass and walking it to me too, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Oh yeah, it's
I,
pretty.
I taped it, but the table is gorgeous. It's like a Parisian. All right,
Well,
you'll send me your glass, people, and I'm gonna look
well,
online and maybe just buy. Maybe it's time to just buy two new end tables. Okay, whatever.
but you can definitely find a glass person. And now I realize I don't know someone that just does only glass, but you can get a glass. Just look up like glass fabricator and say I would like a fabricated piece of glass, but it'll be
Okay,
like $1,000 probably.
I should just buy something new. But when people have broken things, what does that represent?
Generally, it means something is in disrepair and it's broken. So, and it depends. Like if it's something that you love, you would try to repair it, and it's another weight on your mind if you don't try to repair it and it's broken and it's just another one of those little things that adds up in your non-conscious mind
Yeah.
that needs addressing and needs attending to.
Okay.
So it's an
And
energy kind of drain.
why do I saw on Gwyneth Paltrow's kitchen table, I saw a big bowl of lemons. What does that mean? And what does that do for us? Does it?
Well, so in general in feng shui, we actually use oranges. So oranges are considered to be auspicious because they're round, like the shape of a gold coin. They're the color gold. And also oranges offer very yang energy, similar to like the sun at high noon. So it's very bright energy. And we can even, the smell of oranges and orange essence can clear. I mean, that's the space clearing in itself, just to have oranges or orange peels. And so one simple feng shui adjustment is to place a bowl of fresh oranges to invite in abundance and also to clear and brighten the space of any room, kind of like bringing in that, like opening the windows and bringing in sunlight. And lemons are a variation of that, but usually we just use oranges. But because lemons are a little bit more astringent, and then it depends on what you're using it for. So usually we use oranges, but if you wanted to like maybe bring in more earth element and more support your health, then the color yellow could be brought in through lemons.
So yellow is good so lemons are good for health on the table?
So from a feng shui perspective, yellow is related to earth element, which is about like taking care of yourself. It's also related, yellow is related to an area of the feng shui mandala, which is yellow, which is kind of the center, which is your overall well-being and your health. So there's two ways that yellow can connect to you supporting your health.
Okay, great. Good to know. And then do we have time to talk a little bit about this year ahead and like what are some things we can do to really work with the energy of the fire horse, or does it depend really on the year in which we're born, or can it be an overall?
Both.
All right. Well, how can we chat with everyone who's listening?
Yeah, so the fire horse year. So we're in the fire horse year, and a lot of folks are there's a lot of energy around this year.
This year, right? I've never heard, no one's ever talked about it before this year. It's like all of a sudden this year, everyone's on this fire horse.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. And also, like, for instance, last year was a year of the snake. People don't say, oh, it's a year of the wood snake, but somehow, like, people
Yes,
are,
I do not say it's the year of the wood snake. It was the year of the wood snake.
yes, it was the year of the wood snake, but there's something about fire that's obviously very magnetizing. And I think also that people feel the world is on fire right now as well. So I think people are resonating with that. And then the horse is an very much a companion animal to humans. So I think that people can also really understand a horse and it's much more
Yeah.
approachable. So I think there's quite a few things going on. There's also like the idea of that, the idea of being Chinese is trending too. So there's a few things coming together that are making this a very popular topic. And so I've
I
talked a
think
lot
also
about it.
people are really like waking up to the fact that maybe there's something else going on, like, and also is there hope for all of us? And maybe through this we can gain some clarity and some sense of stability.
Yes, yes, I think so. And so a few things is there's a fire element part of the year. So fire does bring clarity, right? So when you think about fire brings light, fire is like, so it's yang fire. So it's a very big fire. So it's like the sun at high noon. That's kind of energy. So there is kind of a sense that, yeah, things can be all consuming this year. Things can burn. Things can, it's like a bonfire. So yin fire is like a little candle or like a little twinkle light where
Yeah.
yang, it's yang fire. This is like a bonfire. So there's a lot of potential for things to get burnt out, for you to get burnt out. So there's definitely an invitation for everyone to touch in with like managing your own nervous system, managing what you need to do to not burn out, to know when you're at that place and to rest instead of trying to burn the candle at both ends because you will burn out this year.
Yeah, and this is a good point. I'm going to put my breath work and my signature experience, episode 8, in the show notes for those of you who need a practice, and also my Reiki meditation, because I think that will be helpful.
That'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the horse part, there's a lot of different aspects to the horse. So a domesticated horse is definitely one that can carry us very far, that offers us a lot of mobility, freedom, speed, success, because traditionally you wouldn't have a horse if you weren't, well, even now, actually, if you would have a horse, you need a lot of wealth to accommodate that. And horses gave legs to so many things, allowed humans to move around, allowed us to travel places, have a lot of independence. And so there's that aspect of it, but there's also the aspect, and also, sorry, the fire horse also gives us the idea of like the energy of a thoroughbred, like very fast. But there's a danger, right? We could be like a thoroughbred on a racetrack, just running in circles for no reason, right? And just burn ourselves out for no reason. But instead, how can we look at a horse without that conditioning, that human conditioning, that domestication, and instead look at like horses, for instance, are herd animals. You would never keep a horse by itself. A horse always needs to be in community with other living beings, whether it's like like a goat or other horses. If a horse is held on its own, it will become neurotic. So this is a teaching for us too, because we've become so much more isolated.
Yes.
And a lot of my clients have been telling me like, I don't have friends anymore. I want to make new friends. I want to connect with more people. Like people feel very isolated. So there's an invitation to connect with community and
Yes, group experiences in person,
yes,
virtually.
in person. And virtually being in a group
Yeah.
and showing your face and connecting to others and being vulnerable, especially right now where people I find are very hypersensitive about their online visibility.
Yeah.
They're worried about their online privacy, but at the same time longing for connection.
Yes.
So, and also someone told me recently that the only reason why a horse has all the strength and the speed that it does have is because it develops these skills in community with
Yes.
other horses.
I couldn't agree more. It's so funny because I literally just started this group experience called Inevitable, because I do feel like more of us need to come together, want to come together with similar viewpoints and ideas. And I also feel that right now, a lot of people, you made a really good point. A lot of my clients experience this too, where they don't relate to people in the same way that they used to, or the community that they once related to, they no longer identify with.
Yeah, and they're feeling very isolated and lonely. Yeah. They're losing connections. They're moving away from connections. And obviously, like, we're spending more time in front of screens, and then people are worried about the online privacy, which is totally fair. But but that maybe means that you need to just make a little bit more effort to find a community that you feel safe, and that there's agreements made and containers created for that vulnerability to happen in a safe way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think those are the biggest teachings from this year. And that's for everybody, because everyone can learn from the overall energy of the year. And there is also a sense of like different like animals, like what year you were born in may have a different effect on you. But I think in general, everyone could benefit from, just thinking about like what they can learn from the horse and to take care of themselves. So I think the biggest thing is community, connection, growing with others, and also to take care of yourself, to not burn out, and not to notice when you're like just running on that racetrack.
Right. Default patterning, right? And that's what a lot of the work that I do about is like reversing a lot of the conditioning. And really, again, you've mentioned something so many times today, is intention. The intention you put behind something. Where are you coming from when you're doing things? Are you navigating from a place of fear and I have to make this work? Or are you moving from a place that's really authentic and in alignment with you and the truth that is?
Yeah, absolutely.
So before we close this amazing conversation, I've really enjoyed it. Like, so much fun. You shared a little bit about your free plant workshop that's coming up for spring. Can you share a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah. So springtime, people get inspired to bring in some new plants, or maybe prune or freshen up their existing plants in their home. And a lot of people love houseplants. Yeah, and a lot of people need help too. So we get so many questions about feng shui and plants. So my business partner Laura and we created a little free plant workshop, and it's a mini course that's available for free. And LexyRose is going to put the link in the show notes, but you can also visit mindfuldesignschool.com and just sign up and learn more about feng shui and plants. Learn about like the wood element, what that means, how that can benefit you. You can learn about some of our favorite plants and what they symbolize in feng shui, and then how to put them in your home and where and why.
Is there anything specific that we could all be doing for the year of the fire horse to put in our home, or does it all depend? Like, is there any like important thing that we could use as an anchor or something like that besides the practices we do on our own, like objects or?
Yeah, so there's always a lucky animal of the year, and it's not the horse. It's actually the ram. So I sent you one.
Woo, you did it right. I didn't get it. Yeah, but this is. Do you know that my birthday is I'm an Aries. I'm a triple fire sign, by the way.
Ah, okay. So yeah, so every animal has a secret best friend, and the best friend of the horse is the ram / goat / sheep. So you could hang out with people born in the year of the ram.
Okay.
Or
in your new community, you got to find.
Yes. Right. Okay. When's your birth year?
Yeah, exactly. First question. Let's go.
Yeah. People love that. especially with all the online privacy stuff. But you can also carry around a little figurine of a ram. So I sell these. Oh, I am selling this thing.
Okay, give it. We need the link.
So holistic, if you go to holisticspaces.com, I'll send you the link later, LexyRose.
Okay, please. And the free plant again.
Yeah, but it's a small little, I have a small little ram amulet that is, oh, here I have one. So it's a little ram.
Cute.
And I make it into like a little keychain, so it's really easy to carry it on you. So the idea is that the energy of the good luck animal rubs off on you and is you receive all the benefit of the auspicious energy that is available to the ram by carrying it or being ram adjacent. So you carry it on you at all times. So that's good for every zodiac animal.
What year is the year of the ram? What year is, or there's probably so many.
Next year is year of the ram. So I don't know. I have to look it up. Year of
there are a lot probably, right?
So year of the ram would be people born in 2015, 2003, 1991, 1979, 1967, 1955, and 1943. I just looked it up.
Love it. And maybe, you know what, would be fun if people from the year of the ram want to comment, and we could send you maybe a little bonus comment in the show notes, or just comment, not in the show notes. All right.
Everyone will hang out with you because you're the lucky animal.
And please let us know. Let us know if you want to hang out. And thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
Thank you so much for having me.